Hello YouTube, Damo_23 here, and welcome back to another episode of Glory Hunter. In today's episode, it's episode 100. That is correct. The big ton, raise your bat. We have got to 100 episodes in Glory Hunter and things are going swimmingly well. Today's episode isn't about Dortmund. Today's episode isn't about what we're trying to achieve in Season 11. Instead, today's episode comes on my in-game birthday in 2032, and what it also does is gives us a chance to reflect on what has gone by, and it's going to be a fun episode as we're about to do something that I can't wait to do, and the reason why I have been saving my games how I have been. With that being said, if you give the episode, give it a like, do subscribe to the YouTube channel, and link down below to come follow us live on Twitch. We are mostly up to date. As I film, everything's been up to date. I did a massive 6-hour stream last night to finish off France and the Copa America, so go watch those episodes out. As it stands right now, I'm about 3 episodes back, which will be up to date by Monday. It's a very good spot to be in with the content. But let's get into today's episode. We're not here speaking about Dortmund, Damien, and you've done a lot of 100 episodes where you've done like goals and stuff like that. What are you going to do? We're going to look back and reflect on the save in a very fun way. If you go to my loaded games, we have Newcastle Season 7 we left, Monaco in Season 10, Milan when I left in Season 5, Betis in 3, West Ham in 2. That is correct. I've basically saved at every point that I've left most clubs in this save, if not all of them. I think I may have missed Newcastle and all that, but that's okay. But with that being said, what we're going to do today is we're going to recap this in a second. But more importantly, we're going to build my all-time dream Glory Hunter 11 from the first 100 episodes. And by having those saved data, we're going to load into the prime of each one of the players we're going to speak about and go through their journey as to why they make my list. We're also going to have an oh-so-nearly bench for every position, so we could do a full team of 11 plus 5 if they had to be substituted in. Before we get into that though, let's talk about our milestones here and how the save has gone, and this might be the first time you're watching, so you've got 99 other episodes to watch, but here we are. We started with West Ham, UCL Europa Conference League winners in the first season, finishing in the top 4 as well with the current West Ham squad of real life. We made a couple of little changes. We had a guy that will be featuring in our starting 11, Jenny, out in Season 1. And we went on to win the Premier League in Season 2. And to be fair, should have made a Champions League final as well, where Liverpool absolutely FM'd us because Alisson Becker's a GOAT. We then took the biggest gamble of the save. We went to Real Betis. Real Betis, very good side, had no money. We signed someone that we will be mentioning in this episode as well. The whole idea was to win the Europa League, losing to Chelsea in a very epic final. We made the semi-final of the club. And we actually purposely threw away the league where we were sitting comfortably in the Champions League to stay and go back into the Europa League. As it so happened, that did not happen. We went to AC Milan because they came knocking on the door to my Spanish home and they said, well, guess what, Damien? You're going to be in charge of Milan. You've been playing a diamond at Betis. Come play diamond in Italy. And I said, oh, okay, I will. We went straight away and did a double with an AC Milan side that I dubbed by the end of that season the best team in the world. And we proved that the year after as we went and defended the Cup and the League and won the UCL as well. We then went to Newcastle. We beat in that said final. We got Pochettino the sack and we went straight there with a very world-class side that included Bellingham and Sivert and Nuno Perez and Katka and Osimhen, and one of the best teams ever seen the AI assemble ever. And well, we had 1 goal in England to complete it by winning the FA Cup. We did it that year. We won the Euros with France as well, and I will mention that international players are not subject to this. It's all my club players, but there is a couple that I have managed on the international duty that are going to get into this squad. We're the Euro winners with France. In that next season with Newcastle, we had to go and win the Europa League as we finished 5th. Still something to do. We stayed. We rejected a bid from Real Madrid for ourselves. And we lost the Community Shield final. We won the league. So the second time we won the Premier League in the save. And we won the Euros. After that, we won the Europa League. The next season is the first time we went to Monaco. And maybe a lot of you guys have come in to watch the save. We finished second to PSG. We got FM'd brutally out of the French Cup. We lost the Conference League final to Napoli, And yeah, we got FM'd by Netherlands in the World Cup, which is still a trophy that eludes us. In season 9, with the French Cup, we lost again to PSG in the semi-final. We won the league by 1 point in epic circumstances. We got knocked out in the first round of the UCL. And last season, we won the French Cup to complete France. We went back-to-back league titles. We lost in the semi-final Real Madrid and got absolutely slapped. But more importantly, we went invincible. For the first time in our Glory Hunter save, and only the second time I've gone invincible, or the third time I've gone invincible in one of the major leagues in FM. The other 2 times is actually in France as well, with my little old mess side. We went invincible, and we did not lose a game domestically the whole year. We also won the Copa America with Brazil. That leads us to today, where we're with Dortmund, and the save is forever growing. We've got 9 seasons to win a handful of trophies. That is the DFB Pokal and the Bundesliga. It's to go back to Spain and win the Spanish Cup and La Liga and, of course, the World Cup, which we're aiming to win with Brazil. It's been a good fun and it's been good times. If you can have a look at the other honours there, we've never made an appearance in the Club World Cup, International League Trophy, we haven't even made. We finished 3rd in one season with France, but we're never going to probably play in that comp again. Super Cup, never played in it, never got the opportunity, always moved before we did. Cabaret Cup, we won in the year 29-30 season, and they ran us up in 24-25. In the Italian Super Cup, we got FN'd by Inter to lose that in 26-27. The Community Shield, never won it in England, did lose to Liverpool in 28-29. The Trophy League Champions, we beat PSG in 30-31, but lost to them the season afterwards. And of course, the Copa America last season in 2032. We won the Copa America. So that is a rundown of the save, what we've completed, what we've achieved. A lot of players have been integral to that. And we're about to go through now. And we are going to go through all these load game saves. I've got my workman jacket on, my high vis, because we're getting to work, lads. When we come back, we're going to go through the bench of the players that should probably be in the 11, but couldn't get in there, and all their stories and why that is the case. I'll see you guys in a second. Don't go anywhere. YouTube, welcome into season 7 of Glory Hunter, where we are looking to build the 4-3-3 and our bench. We are going to start with the bench. We're going to start with a couple players that were with me at Newcastle that don't make the starting 11. And we're going to mention them right now. What we're going to do for this whole building process is load in to those players when we had them and all their prime. So if there's a player in their prime in the current season, we'll show them like that. If we had them in their prime back a while, we'll show them as such as well. With that being said, without further ado, Season 7, Newcastle. What a squad, by the way. There is people on this list that don't make the bench. The likes of a Larox or a Morgala or a Sailmakers. Isaac doesn't even get a mention. But a couple of the boys do from this team. Firstly, you go Cap Kerr. Great player. It's not going to let me copy his name, I don't think, into Notepad. But if it does, that would be sensational. Oh, it does. It's so nice. You go Cap Kerr with Newcastle. Have a look how world-class this guy was. 66 caps at 33, right at the end of his prime, and he is my starting goalkeeper. As you can see here, been at Newcastle many a time, and in the season that we're looking at, in 32 total games played in the league, 22 conceded, and was an integral part into me winning that title. There's one other player from Newcastle that we have to speak about whilst we're here, and that is going to be a bit of a shock to you. That is Victor Osimhen. That is correct. This guy isn't making the starting 11. Yeah, I know. You're all thinking it with me. Why is he not making the starting 11? There is a reason. Well, all we're going to say about Victor is 23 goals in 34. 42 goals in 53 appearances in all competitions this season. Have a look how good he was as well. Speed, physicality, 6'1", 20 off the ball and finishing. Don't get me wrong, Victor Osimhen, mate, you were fantastic. But you do not make my starting 11 because there's a striker that I want to go out there and say, you did a pretty good job as well. So those are the two from Newcastle that make our bench. Are they guys that could make the starting 11? Kapke arguably, Osimhen definitely has a case. Let's go see who the centre-back / full-back we choose to be on the bench is. And well, it's one from a long time ago. Where are we loading to, Damien, for this full-back? Rail Hippus. Season 3. Why on earth are you here? There is a reason. And it's one of the guys on my list that we didn't get to use enough of. I would love to buy him, but he's too good too. And that is Adrian Armagol. You might think, dang, 17? Yeah, but at 17, played 6 games. And although we never got the opportunity, if we stayed, we definitely would have. He would have started for me the next season. That's what he looked like at 17. We load up into season 11. We load into Glory Hunter, Adrian Armengol, who I tried throughout this whole time to sign, looks this good as well. Is it Adrian Armengol? That's Adrian Armengol, I'm pretty sure. Look at him at Napoli. 24 years of age. 115 mil. And I'm telling you right now, if we used him for any period of this save, he would be in my starting 11 at right back or centre back. Have a look at him. Physically a monster. Mentally switched on. Technically very well rounded. Arguably a defender. For me, he would be a wing back. Let him sit in, win the ball, get up and down the pitch. Probably on support as well, so because he's got that ability. 4.5 star. One of the best 28 caps at 24 years of age for Spain under Pep Guardiola. Oh, I wish we used him for a long term in this save. Oh, I wish. We never got the opportunity to, but Adrian Armengol, what a player, has developed into one of the best regens that I've used on this save. Or one of the best regens we never really got to use on this save. But is a man that if I open my notepad, and I look at my second screen, that we've got to put in as the backup centre-back / full-back there. Where to next? But back to Hippus. That is correct. We're going back to Rail Hippus or Bettis. And we're going back to season 3. Because I've plucked another one out of here. Who is the backup centre attacking mid, centre mid, you name it. And it's none other than Arsene Zakarian. Or Zakarian. Oh, we wanted to use this guy on so many times. I tried to at AC Milan for 2 years to sign him, and they kept pricing me out Bettis by 150 mil release fee. That was smartly AI. 18 goals and 32. We bought him in and wasted our whole budget on him to say you could win us the Europa League, and he nearly did. He was fantastic here in season 3. We load up to my current save. Let's go see what his career has developed into and how good he looks. Because I'm telling you right now, there is a guy that definitely deserved to have had a very, very, very good career. He's at Chelsea in his prime. Well-rounded mentally, physically, and technically. Currently wanted by PSG. Apparently we're scouting him, because we are. If you have a look at Hippus, never below a 7. Was a Hippus legend, which I love that the AI did a fantastic job with us. Saying that, he went to Chelsea for 129 mil, and last season in the Premier League, playing from midfield, 13 goals with 6 assists in 37 starts with 1 off the bench. Longevity in the Premier League. Longevity at the club we brought him to. And for that, a man that is fantastic. Arsene, you, sir, are in there. One last spot before we get into the starting 11. And we've got to go all the way back to AC Milan. and a guy that I used for my Brazilian squad as well that won the Copa America. We go into the 4-1-2-1-2. My Copa America squad. No, a guy that I tried to get in my Copa America squad and then realised he was Portuguese. I think he's also half Brazilian. He's not. Okay, interesting. Mental blank. Rafael Leal. That is correct, ladies and gentlemen. Rafael Leal. Can play up front. Was superb. Gave me the year before Roko went on his bee's knees of 23 and 31 and 19 in 34. Can play left wing as well as an inside forward or an inverted winger. Can even play on the right. A pace merchant, if there ever was one. He is quick, he's got agility, he's got acceleration, he can dribble, he can finish, he can pass, technique and vision. At 28 years of age, he was a terror and was part of a front two that I deemed the best front two in the world for the best team in the world. Have a look at that side there. That was the best team in the world that year. Look at the names on the bench. Roman Tisney, Adro Gula, Iwamoto, Roldan, who's here at Dortmund with us in this current save right now, Tomori. Have a look at those names there. What a team, what a player. For whatever reason, I'm thinking of Victor Roque with the Brazilian stuff. We'll get to him. But Rafael Leal, a player that was fantastic. And if we look here and we bring up the notepad, your bench for this starting 11 is heavy hitting. It's Kapke in net. It's Adrian Armagol as the backup centre back or fullback. It's Arsene Zakaran as the backup centre mid or centre attacking midfielder. It's Rafael Leao as the backup winger. And it's Osimhen as the backup striker. 5 guys that are world class and 5 that deserve to be here, but they don't get into the 11. And now the fun part. Let's start with goalkeeper and work our way through. And in a second, we're going to go and have a look at our number 1. Number 1 goalkeeper. We've gone back last year. It's Monaco. And it is only one man, Goran Markovic. In my save, he chose to go to Inter over me, but I'm going to disregard that and have a look at the guy that won me a domestic double, went invincible, and lest we forget, went to Norwich and got them to win the FA Cup and the Europa League. That is correct in this save. He went to Norwich in his 2 years. He won the FA Cup and the Europa League with Norwich being in goal before we picked him up. Where as a keeper, exactly what you want. 6'4", tick. One-on-ones, tick. Ability to make a big save, tick, tick. Moments of anguish where he makes a mistake, a tick as well. But he has been fantastic and one of the best keepers we used in this entire save. Katker may have rights to say, maybe I'm a little bit better. But Goran is someone that is only going to get better. And well, when you have a keeper that keeps you in games and allows you to go undefeated, he kind of needs to be the number 1 here. So, with that being said, your number 1 in our big 4-3-3 is Goran Markovic. But we're going to stay at Monaco because at right back, we have another player. A player that has won me a Copa America as well, and someone that I know we have Frimpong and other fullbacks that probably deserve a mention, that is outrageously good. He can cross, he can go up and down, and in a 4-2-3-1 that relies heavily on fullbacks whipping balls in, Vanderson has been next level. He can do everything you want, and he can defend too, and he never has had really a bad game for me in my last 3 years. Only 6 assists, but nothing like the days of old FM where fullbacks got 30 assists a season. But he's always been in this entire save an absolute colossus. And for that, Vanderson, you, sir, are going to be in at right back. And we're still staying here at Monaco. Because the left back happens to be another one in Vitaly Becker. A man we picked up last season. Got 9 assists at a 7.35. This season, 8 assists at a 7.33. But the things this guy could do on the ball are out of this world. He can drive. He can dribble. He can finish. He can do the lot. Say he can finish here and score a goal for us, but I'm pretty sure he scored in a cup game that was a nice finish. And David Peter, if we used him for a long while, may, wherever David Peter is, may have claims to it if we used him longer term. But Vitaly Becker, and the way he linked up with some of these players going forward was ridiculous. He never did anything wrong, he never seemed to make a mistake, and he was always going to be Mr. Reliable. And over all the fullbacks that I've used, these two from Monaco have been the best of the lot. To recap from the Monaco side, and 3 of this back 5 is Markovic, Vanderson, and Vitaly Becker. But is there a 4th? There is, but he's not here mainly for what he did at Monaco. But it's Nuno Perez. A player that we have a lot of time for, and you have a look at him in his declining list. You know, he's starting to decline out of his prime. He's a physical monster, mentally switched on, and has got heading, marking, and tackling ability to suit. And he is sensational. In saying that, he's here mainly for one thing and one thing only. He did help me win the go undefeated this season, but he's here mainly for this, and it's Newcastle. Because have a look at the season he had in here. He was outrageous. 7.07, 6.88, but in the cup, that's the main thing. In the cup, 7.4. In the Europa League, 7.4 this season. In the FA Cup, 7.38, a 7.2. He was a specialist for me at Newcastle of being, it's cup competition, Perez starts. It's a cup competition, Perez starts. Because of that, when we needed him, when we went to England the second time, we needed someone that was going to help us win the FA Cup, and we needed someone that was going to help us win the Europa League. And this guy was the guy that started over Larops. Larops played the league, he played the Europa League, and he played the FA Cup. And then he came to me at Monaco and helped me go undefeated. So technically, everyone but this spot here is a Monaco player, but Perez is mainly in there for his Newcastle exploits. What a little side that is already. Got Goran Markovic, Vanderson, Perez, and Becker, who you've all enjoyed the last few seasons with me. With that being said, you've got Adrian Armagol that can slip into that too. That is absolutely fantastic. When we come back, we're going to go and pick the last one. And let's see. Actually, we'll do it right now. Let's go and pick the last one while we're in this game. While we're in here. We'll do the whole defense in one lot. Maybe we'll do that. Maybe that's a little bit better. We're going to load into Glory Hunter. And you're thinking, Damien, why are you coming to Dortmund? You haven't been here long enough to have a centre-back. Well, no, but I bought someone for Dortmund this season that needs to be mentioned, and he's going in. And it's a man that I won a Euros with. It's a man that was part of the best team in the world with AC Milan, and it's a man that is hopefully going to help me achieve my stuff here at Dortmund this season before he becomes a rotation player and retires. And that is Tomori. At 34 years of age, he still looks unbelievable. However, this is not the guy that we remember him for. We remember him for this. We remember him for this. At AC Milan, where he could play right back or centre back and be one of the best in the world. Have a look how good Tomori is here. Alongside Todibo, he doesn't make the list. One of the best centre-backs in the world. Physically a monster. Mentally switched on. 17 marking. That every striker was in his back pocket. He could tackle. He could header. And my word, he could play. he was unbelievable for us over 2 years. And to think about the Champions League, he averaged over a 7 in the year we won it as well. Your last player that makes this list is Tomori. People might be shouting, Damien, Theo Hernandez over Becker. I think Becker did a lot. Hernandez got suspended a lot. Me and Hernandez have a love-hate relationship. That's the only other one that maybe can make this list, but I can't really put this in here. I could maybe put another fullback in there for the bench. And if I could fit one more spot, it is Theo Hernandez, because there's people that are screaming at that. But it's Goran Markovic, it's Vanderson, it's Perez, Tomori, and Becker. And mainly, when you go undefeated in a whole season, you've got to give weight to that defence that didn't let you lose a game. So when most of those guys have played for me at Monaco, there is no shock. But Perez and Tomori are definitely here for other exploits. That's your back four and keeper. That is your bench. We come back, it's the midfield three. And well, boys, this midfield three is the best midfield three you're going to see in a Dream 11 ever on Football Manager. Into the midfield we dive. And well, we're at Monaco, and there's only one man that we can speak about. He's arguably the best player on this list, and controversially, I'm going to say he's second to one man. But I am going to miss Aristobal. What a player was one Camilo Aristobal. Have a look at him. 4 to 5 star ability already. What a magnificent player. We looked at him at Porto for many a year. This is the thing, we nearly signed him at AC Milan, however we couldn't with foreign limits. So we waited, and we waited. And well, in season 8, when we had the money, he was a guy that came in and changed this Monaco save dramatically. In the first season, 10 goals with 7 assists. Ain't too bad in 31 in your first season. 7.26, 7.5 in the Cup. 7.55 internationally for Colombia that year. It's the next season that was the killer. Oh, Aristobal, apologies, mate. There you are. 13 goals in the 10 with 13 assists. Outrageous. At a 7.65. In the Cup, he averaged a 7.43 the year we won the Cup. In the Champions League, a cheeky little 6.96. Probably not his best of campaigns. But what a player he was. He averaged a 7.43 in all competitions. When you have a look at his stats for an attacking midfielder on support or an advanced playmaker on attack, and how I would use him here, he is next level. He can dribble, he can finish, he can hit him from distance, and he's got elite passing with 19 vision and 18 technique. He's also got natural flair to beat players, and some of his goals this season was literally him beating 2 or 3 before finishing. He's got anticipation, composure, that makes a great decision, and he's physically an absolute monster. People know that if you watch me long term, that I judge players on having stats of 15 plus those golden stats. For me, you got to have 15 or more to be considered world class. The best that we ever had was 21 with Nildo. He's got 20, and at 25 there's a world where he surpasses that as well. So one Camilo Aristobal is your first midfielder. And don't worry, he's not a DM. He's wearing the number 10. And I might actually do that. I might actually just put Aristobal so we can see it. There's Aristobal. There's only one other spot we have to go to here. It's Newcastle. And well, the midfield we had at Newcastle had Jude Bellingham, Tisney, Sivert. It's a pretty star-studded 3. Who gets in that 3? Iwamoto is an honourable mention, and he's developed even better in the later stage of this save. But 2 of these 3 have to get in. And well, I'm going to start with Jude Bellingham because he's the one. Unfortunately, Sivert, because you guys know Roman Tisney is obviously one of the best in the world, that he gets into. Fortunately, Sivert, mate, you don't get in. Jude Bellingham, at 25 years of age, gets into this side. Look how good Jude Bellingham is. It's Jude Bellingham. Technique, passing, ability to run, mentally switched on, 20 determination. Do I need to say more? It's Jude Bellingham. I wish Liverpool signed him in real life. The AI bought him for 105 mil. We inherited him. 35 games, distributing the ball at 7.15. In all competitions, 7.1. In the Europa League, when we needed to win that competition, a 7.45. And in the Cup, a 7.3 in the FA Cup season we needed to. He was absolutely elite. Jude Bellingham. Whoa. This has killed all our momentum there. There we go. So leaves one spot, and it leaves one spot. And it's Robin Tisney. It has to be Robin Tisney. A man that we've had for a long time in this save. We saw him at AC Milan. We said, you're coming in, we're going to groom you, we're going to be the best in the world. We tooted his note as the best French prospect. Sign this man wherever he goes. Oh, Robin, how I miss you. Imagine a team with the creativity and the never say die attitude of Aristobal and Tisney. Imagine them two running rings around defenders. Robin Tisney didn't just do it with me at AC Milan and help me do the double and learned his trade behind some of the best. We spent big money to bring him in. 94 million. And in season 1, he took his time. But in season 2, 18 goal returns at a 7.37. And in the Europa League, when we needed to win it, a 7.6 with 9 goal returns in 12 matches. He was phenomenal. Lest we forget, in our one to the Euros, he won Euros Young Player and nearly took out Best Player of the Euros as well. In a competition where at times we needed goals, and it was Robin Tisney who created or scored them, including in the final. Only thing is this is him at 21. He gets better when you look at the Glory Hunter current season, season 11. And this is where it gets scary, because Aristobal may be one of the best on paper I've ever used ever. Robin Tisney is the best midfielder or best player I've ever used on FM. And maybe there is a little bit of bias into there, but have a look at him. Oh my goodness gracious, great balls of fire. He's wanted at the minute by Liverpool. Oh, I would love him to go to Liverpool. As you can see here, there's a few other years with the AI. A little bit less goal threat, but still unbelievable. But have a look at the stats. It's dribbling. It's first touch. He can head the ball, and he scored some headers for us. He can pass. He's got technique, vision, off the ball, flair, determination, decisions, composure, anticipation, acceleration, agility, balance, natural fitness, pace, stamina, strength. You name it, he could do it. I said you need 15 total stats over 15 to be world class. This guy and Aristobal are nearly at that stage where they are getting to beyond joke levels of 22 plus, which I've never had. Only one guy I've used on FM throughout all my times have got to 21. And Aristobal and Tisney, I'm pretty sure both have 20 or 19 and 20. Have a look at Robin Tisney. A man I miss. A man that is fantastic. And a man that I believe, and this is a big call, is the best player we've had in the save. Where Aristobal was good, and he did it in France and helped me go undefeated, and he did it in some games. Robin Tisney was there to help me win a Euros, a Europa League, and to do the FA Cup, where Aristobal was there just to complete France. And that's probably where it matters. If Aristobal paid for me for Brazil, and he helped me win the Copa America, maybe, just maybe, he might be the better of the two. But have a look at that midfield three. It's Bellingham, Tisney, and Aristobal. There is not a better midfield three that you're going to find in a Dream 11 on Football Manager. The back four is littered with talent and ability that is going to keep clean sheets. The goalkeeper is a keeper that helped me go invincible and bloody helped Norwich to win a Europa League and an FA Cup. The midfield three is a midfield three that will create goals, will win the ball back, and not only that, they will score goals too. And they are the elite. That is the engine room done. And oh, Robin Tisney, I do miss you. Now it's time for the heavy hitters. The front three for this world-class 100-episode squad. We're going to start with the right winger. And the reason why, we have to go all the way back to season 2. To a guy called Lewis Brown. At this stage, I haven't done notes on players. I started noting them in season 3, so I didn't lose track. We were about to leave, and Lewis Brown genned out as a 16-year-old in season 1. In season 1, 4 appearances, no goals, no nothing, but we gave him 4 chances off the bench in season 2. Have a look at him as a 17-year-old Englishman. 15 finishing, decently well-rounded, okay mentals, not too bad technicals. Load to our time we finished with Newcastle. And this is a very different Mr. Brown, for sure. It's a Brown that is now leading the line for England. It's a Brown that's one of the best in the league by memory in this as well. And when that they two should be playing alongside Haaland in the Dream 11. And a man that grew this much as well. 10 goals and 14 appearances for England. Physically, monster. Mentally, sensational. 17 finishing with 17 technique. I finish everything as well. Arguably could play up front. But we used him out here as an inside forward on attack. Because we wanted him off the line. We wanted him inside of the fullback. We wanted him to link up with Tisney. And oh boy, did Lewis Brown do just that. In a couple of seasons, not a prolific goal scorer, but what he definitely did was offered a lot. In the Conference League, not too bad. In the Europa League, not too bad. And in the FA Cup in the year we won it, 5 goals, 10 appearances, 7.83 in all cup competitions that year. On paper though, absolutely outrageous. And to think I paid 66 mil for a guy that generated out in season 1 with West Ham while we were there. It's a fantastic story. And we love it to bits. Lewis Brown in this team would score bold goals. And he is your right winger. Fantastic footballer. A footballer that deserves to go into there. Let's go to the left winger, shall we? And he's here. But he's not here in our Dream 11 for what he did at Newcastle. But it is Roman Galbert, a man that became a Monaco legend. Now, the story of Galbert at Newcastle was quite interesting. I needed a backup striker. And I also was French boss, and I didn't have really enough forward-thinking depth. So we took a punt on a kid that had no real potential and current ability. But what he did have was pace, and lots of it. And he also had decision-making and finishing and technique. And he had a pretty good year for us in his 1 season in England that we used him for. 14 starts, 10 off the bench, 12 goals, scored 8 goals in all continental games. Scored 4 goals and 5 in the cup. He was a very good player putting the weaker teams away. But it's what he does at Monaco is the reason why he is here. But he was okay. And he played for me at France for a bit. At Monaco, when we bought him, he was our first signing here. He went next level. The physicals stayed. The mentals improved. The finishing wasn't bad. But he became consistent. And, we haven't had a more elite sort of clinical winger in the save than him. 14 goals and 13 assists in 30 games. 5 of them off the bench where he's been rotated. He also scored 5 goals in the Champions League this season, just gone, and scored 3 in the Cup, which helped me go and win the French Cup. 28 mil straight away. Scored 10 in his first, a little bit slow there, but he was fantastic. But in terms of what he did and how he broke the match in with speed and how he's already played 25 games with 14 goals in for the French team, and well, he was never getting near the French side until we saw him. A man we took a punt on. A man that we looked at and said, well, he's pretty quick, he could do a job. Is the man that we done it there as well. What a player. Roman Galbert, he gets in as well. And there we go. Pretty happy with Roman Galbert in there on the left-hand side. Probably move him over slightly so you can see that. Leaves off with one more. And that is one more, and we're going to have to go to AC Milan. Lucky last. And you know who it is if I'm going to AC Milan. Now, I will say that Copa America stuff or international duty shouldn't be part of this. And it's not, but it is part of the reason. Victor Roque was the best player in the world when we left AC Milan, in my opinion. The game didn't think so. Yeah, they thought it was still Haaland. But for me, Victor Roque was the best player in the world. 5-star ability. 5-star. At the time we left, by the way, he did have a bid. I remember we were going to reject it, of 84 mil from City to play with Haaland. 29 goals in 35 appearances in a defensive Italian league. Lest you forget, in 14 starts in the Champions League that year, he scored 14 goals. He was a joke. Finishing, dribbling, first touch, passing, technique and pace. He was only 22 at this stage. If we load up to us in our current save, Victor Roque leading the line for Brazil is next level. And boy, oh boy, is this man unbelievable. In the Copa America, he scored goals for fun. And when you have a look at Victor Roque, he only got that little bit better. A little bit more polished, a little bit more well-rounded. 49 caps at 22. They rejected the bid from City. And look, he scored goals for fun in every other year for AC Milan. A man that needs no introduction. A man that I said at the time, could he be the best striker that we used ever on FM? He may just be. It was Nicolas Adrien, Fabio Silva, James Margetts, all players that we put in that level of, well, they were the best that we've ever used. Fake Victor Roque is going up there as one of the best strikers we have ever used on Football Manager. And when you look at the team, there it is on screen as followed. Your bench for your best 100 episode side is Katka in net, Adrian Armagol at centre back or full back, Arsene Zakharyan is the centre mid or centre attacking mid, Rafael Leao, Victor Roque's partner, as the backup winger, and the big old Victor Osimhen up top as well. Your back five, or forward the keeper, is Markovic, Vanderson, Perez, Tomori, and Becker. Jude Bellingham, Tisney, and Aristobal in the best midfield you ever see, with Lewis Brown, Roman Galbert, and Victor Roque up top. That team would beat 99% of the best teams that ever played in the world. What a side. What 100 episodes it's been. Thank you very much for the support over the 100 episodes. I only have a handful of saves that have got past there, and there's likely that we might get 200 in this one as well. With that being said, give the episode a like, do subscribe to the YouTube channel. If you like the team, let me know in the comment section down below who you think the best player on that list was. Also, if there's a player you think we missed out, I know there's some people that are going to say Theo Hernandez, but yeah, he got sent off too many times for me. But yeah, Theo Hernandez or others that you think that should have been in this list, let me know. Who has been your favourite player in your saves? Link me down below. That being said, that is your best 11 with a best bench after 100 episodes. Cheers. Thank you. And I'll see you tomorrow for where we will have episode 101. We'll be back to the grind of Glory Hunter And with Dortmund, we'll try to do it as well.